Remember this video from yesterday about the restaurant chain in Los Angeles called Great White that loves to segregate Asian people in the restaurant? So yeah, unsurprising to everyone, it's seeming like it's coming from the top down. So last night when I posted the video, I jokingly commented, haha, should I go tomorrow to test to see if they're gonna put me in the corner? Side note, if I did go, I wasn't gonna pay, I was gonna leave immediately after they sat me. But two things, number one, by the time I woke up this morning, the video had already gone viral and they had already turned off the comment section on their IG. But mainly the reason number two, I don't need to bait them, because if you know anything about patterns of behavior, there are signs everywhere. And not only did I get confirmation from other people that it doesn't happen just at their Melrose location, but at other locations as well. And also, unsurprisingly, it's not towards just Asian people. But I will say a lot of Asian people were like, wait a second, that happened to me too. But you know what, instead of doing that, let's listen to what the co-founders Sam Trude and Sam Cooper have to say. You see, the Sams love the name Great Whites because they love sharks. Specifically, they love that everyone has a relationship with sharks because they either are interested or they're afraid of them? That's a weird thing to say. And apparently, great whites, just like colonizers, never like to stay in the same place and can be found all over the world. And if you think that's a bit of a stretch, then let's look at their food philosophy. You see, they call their menu Coastal California because it's a blend of cultures and backgrounds like California. Specifically, they like to draw their inspiration from the coastal areas of Europe, Australia, and the Americas. They literally listed every single inhabited continent except for two. And that claim is really weird because if you look at their menu, not a single one of these are inspired from Europe or Australia. We're gonna skip over the red flag of any restaurant that likes to add in tacos with their sandwiches. Huh. What's this? Because it seems like everything inside of bowls is AAPI inspired. More Asian inspired things in red, and other cultures that are not American or Australian are highlighted in green. Finally, we have some foods from actual Europe. Steak, frites, and pasta. This black cod, those are Asian flavors. That's an Asian dish. Kebabs and falafels are not Mediterranean. Those are from the Middle East, which is where? Oh, right, in Asia. Oh, okay. One section is European. Oh, still not convinced? What about this one? They like to attribute all of their aesthetics to much of Europe, especially Greece, Spain, and Italy, and then immediately go to credit something that they took from Bali, China, and more China, but not a single mention of Asia whatsoever. So again, unironically, Great White is essentially a restaurant embodiment of colonization. Founded by two white dudes from Australia who will, without even a second thought, take things from other cultures without bothering to give credit. I believe that's called stealing or appropriation at best, while segregating the Asian and apparently other people of color away from the Europeans that they love so much. So yeah, I don't know about you, but I'm okay with this great white going extinct. Great white. It started to become really obvious that it was never about sharks all along, and they just didn't want people of color to feel comfortable eating there.
This is why LA's failing, okay? Great white is delicious, it's consistent, and now that I know they're white supremacists, I will support them even more than I already do. And here's the thing, they make great food. The service, whatever, I don't know. Never been that great. I'm white. They didn't treat me better. But they make good food. The only thing that should qualify for a restaurant being open and remaining open is great food. They're like, great white. It's all, the pieces are fitting together. They're talking about white people being great. So I go to these restaurants, all the locations, all the time. It is a very hipster. It is very diverse. First of all, the only thing they would do would be actually racist is if they straight up just denied you service. I'm not like, you know, extremely knowledgeable about food that black people tend to eat, but it's usually not healthy Australian style breakfast. So I'm just throwing that out there. Maybe that's why you don't see tons of black people there. If you went to Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles, I don't think you would see just 4 feet tall Chinese women anywhere.
I don't even know where to start.
Neither do I, my guy, because what the hell is this? I've been aware of the Great White situation since day one of this restaurant discriminating and segregating against Asian people. I decided to shadow support the situation, like, retweet, comment, repost, etc. I'll do what I need to do while they making this restaurant go bankrupt. Until Emily, the proud racist, said she's going to support this restaurant even more because they are white supremacists. If it wasn't obvious enough that you was a white supremacist after that failed debate with Dean, now we have you in 4K admitting to the fact. Remember when she said that segregation isn't racist? She is saying that segregation, including Jim Crow laws, wasn't racist at all. Segregation on buses, housing, neighborhoods, grocery stores, even bleachers when watching a baseball or soccer game. Because we're allowed inside, it doesn't mean they want us there. And just because they don't want us there doesn't mean they want our money. You know what, Emily? I am very happy black people do not eat at this Australian restaurant, because after the way you treated Asian Americans, I hope it remains that way. Because we could take our $1.7 trillion spending power somewhere else. And if I'm not mistaken, don't Asian Americans make up $1 trillion in spending power as well? They can take that shit somewhere else too. Black people are estimated to put in $2 trillion by the end of 2025. That is a combination of $3.1 trillion between black and Asian people. That is a lot of money. And if black and Asian people just go poof, your economy, America's economy, will plummet. If it isn't obvious to you enough, Emily, you need us. You know what, Emily? I gotta give you props, because now you and other white supremacists are giving black and Asian people another reason to unite. Thank you. I appreciate this. This makes it so much easier. So now, since you're bringing black people into this, Asian and black people are about to hop on your ass. By the way, Emily, the literal definition of segregation is to preserve a superior race and hierarchy over other black people and other people of color, or subjected inferior ethnicity, nationality, or race. That is the whole point of segregation, is to make sure a specific race, white people, to remain at the top, have the best leisure, have the best opportunities, have the best of everything, while the black people and other people of color get the worst of it. White supremacists use their power and superiority to burn down and destroy everything that black people and other people of color had built in the past. Hospitals, universities, grocery stores, neighborhoods, towns, Black Wall Street, Chinatowns, Korean towns, Japanese towns. They even created prisons and concentration camps to put us in there just to get rid of us, to eliminate us. None of that is racist, right? Okay.
Sarah Breyer says she worked for Grand Blanco in Venice Beach in 2023 when it was owned by Sam Trude and Sam Cooper, the co-founders of the Great White Restaurants. She says her management directed her to treat people of color differently.
If Asian guests came in, we were told to seat them outside. Like, they never got an inside table.
And this restaurant, the Great White Restaurant, been practicing this since 2017. Sit the Asians outside. And they were able to get away with it because, you know, they're trying to appease, the Asians are trying to appease a certain group. We all want to look like the victims, the black people. Because if this was practiced against black people, like a group of black people, if they went to this restaurant consistently, this would have been called out before 2017. That's all I'm saying. Other groups will gaslight themselves like, oh no, it could be us, even though you're out there in the cold, chilling, literally chilling.
Hello brothers and sisters, welcome back to the channel. I'm hoping that you're doing great from wherever you're watching me from. I'm your host and presenter Agent Stories. Now, the relationship between the Asian Americans and white America has long been shaped by a complex pursuit of acceptance, proximity to power, and racial hierarchy. And you understand that this has been happening for the longest time in history. Many Asian immigrants came to the United States hoping to assimilate and achieve what they perceived as American dream, discipline, and economic productivity. They could escape the harsh realities of racial discrimination that Black Americans faced. And over time, this effort has produced what came to known as model minority myth, a stereotype that painted Asians as obedient, hardworking, and successful minorities, used by white societies to construct and contrast and undermine Black Americans. Yet, this illusion of acceptance was always conditional. Asians were praised only when convenient, but never fully invited into the circle of whiteness. And this made this made Asians to be so much accepted by the white people. Only what they came to learn is that they can never be white enough. And as time goes by, it keeps on proving them that in as much as how they try, whatever they try to do to be accepted, it can never be the way they want. And this is what they have to learn. They have to learn that they are not white enough for white people, right? But they are Black enough for white people. I mean, they are Black enough to at least Black people, because a couple of things, the longest time I've seen, Black people have always tried to be so much of help to all these other communities, this including the Asian community. But you understand that since these people, they are fighting so much to be accepted, they are fighting so much to be validated by the white community, they end up messing for themselves. And so, brothers and sisters, this is a perfect scenario of an Asian man who went to a white-only restaurant only to learn that he is not invited, only to learn that he better be in a space of his own people, because to white people, you ain't white. So, brothers and sisters, I'm inviting you to watch this video. I'll be back with my commentary. I'll be back with my thoughts in regards to this. What I'm just asking you is that if you're watching it for the first time, I'm asking you to please subscribe to the channel. Please join my membership and really get to see what I can offer you. For those always supporting me through my Cash App, through my super thanks, I'm really, really grateful for the all support that you give me as a whole. So let's get into it. I'll be back with my thoughts and commentary.
For several years, they've been doing this to you and you're not calling them out. You rather just gaslight yourself like, no, we're not victims of systemic racism. That only happened to the victims. Yeah, that's what happens when you try to appease a certain group of people and you buy into a certain narrative that this only happened to a specific group of people and they're the victims. And they're always having the victim mentality. But anyway, shout out to the news people that broke this out and the Asian people that finally came out and, several years later to speak against this. Yeah, Great White, they're under new ownership, but Great White, it says it in the name, Great White. Great White.
So I seen that Great White Restaurant controversy, sitting the Asian people outside and in a corner. I have been seeing a lot of videos from Asian people saying they went there, they experienced this, but they gaslit themselves like, no, it's not happening. Or they went other places and they experienced this, they looked around, they noticed shit, and they said, no. That's because y'all think it can't be y'all. Y'all think it can't be y'all. I swear to God, all the POC folks think that they closer to whiteness. They align more to white than Black Americans. So the way we get treated, because if a Black person would have looked around that restaurant and noticed, all the niggas to the back, I don't think it would have made the news. I don't think it would have went viral. I think the comments would have looked a whole lot different. How can I be a victim today? Y'all always trying to pull the race card. Everything is not about black and white. Like, I feel like this was well received by the public. And if it was me, it would have been received by my people. But everybody else would have been like, stop it. Not everybody, but y'all know, a good majority. Anyways. Yeah. Yep. Y'all are not special. And one day, y'all gonna wake up and y'all gonna realize it and y'all gonna do something about it. Y'all gonna stop aligning yourselves with people who don't give a fuck about you.
Guests came in, we were told to seat them outside. Like, they never got an inside table.
It's about a restaurant in LA that's getting exposed for being racist towards Asians. It started with a TikTok of a Korean girl eating at the restaurant, recording like why are all the Asians sitting together, and then people started commenting, stating similar experiences at the restaurant, and then ex-employees started speaking up, stating that they were actually trained to do that. The two owners, two Australian dudes. As a mom, yeah, it upsets me. And I used to love this restaurant.
We were instructed to tell people that the restaurant was at capacity when, certain demographics came in that they did not want in the restaurant.
I finally understand why the Great White Cafe in LA is called Great White. And it's not about sharks. Let's talk about it. About a month ago, I had just gotten my camera and my girl was like, let's go to brunch. I know this great cafe, amazing food. let's go play with this camera. So I said, okay, cool, let's do it. We arrive at the Great White. We are met by the host. And I then tell her that we want to sit outside because we want to take photos. The restaurant is definitely very empty at this time, but it did fill up pretty quickly after that. We eat the food, we take great pictures. It's phenomenal. And I remember like looking around me and telling my girl, wow, I love it here. It's so multicultural. Fast forward to today, I started getting a lot of engagement on the photos that I took from there. I tagged Great White, I left them a great review. And I find these comments saying, oh, they sat you outside in the ethnic seating. They hid you behind a tree. You're a fool. You played into their hands. I'm so confused at this point. I'm defending myself crazy in the comments. Like, what the hell are you talking about? They, you know, I asked to sit outside. And they were saying, oh no, they put you there. They put ethnic people outside. And I'm like, what? Like, what are weird comments? I'm here thinking that I'm getting trolled. I then go on search on TikTok.
Down former employees who say this was part of the management culture.
They were very direct about telling me to make sure I limit the amount of ethnic people that are coming in.
Montana Pine also says she worked at Grand Blanco as a server when Sarah was a host there.
We were instructed to tell people that the restaurant was at capacity when, you know, certain demographics came in that they did not want in the restaurant.
What? Do you know how fucking racist you gotta be to appear on the news? Oh my goodness. And this had initially went viral because a creator had posted a video saying that they were only seating Asians in one section and white people in another section. I hit up my girl and I'm like, bro, let's, like, now that I think about it, everyone outside, there was maybe like one table of white people that was sitting outside. Me and my girl are sitting on one table. My girl is Mexican. The table in front of us is a group of Mexicans as well. On the side of us, it's a black woman by herself. And beside her is a black woman, her mother, and her white boyfriend. Then we have an Asian couple. And inside, there was only one table. It was a famous black actor that was sitting on the table with a black woman. Everyone else on the inside of the restaurant was white. Now, I feel like an absolute fool trying to defend myself. I wasn't even trying to defend the restaurant. I was just trying to defend us. Like, no, like, we chose to sit out there. Like, please understand. Like, there is no possible way. I was not born 2 years after the apartheid in South Africa to then experience apartheid in a restaurant in West Hollywood in 2025. It's absolutely appalling. I guess they took Great White to a whole new level.
Bro, unpopular opinion, but I feel like if racist white people want to be segregated away from us and they want to have their own, we should let them have it. Honestly, sick and tired of seeing people fight with them. They want to have a different halftime show? Let them. They don't want you buying their clothes. They don't want you eating at their restaurants. Don't buy. Don't go. Like, nothing is going to piss me off more than spending my fucking hard-earned dollar at your business and then finding out that you're a racist piece of shit. I don't know about y'all, but I want to know up front. Even if you have to put a whites only sign at the front of your restaurant, I want to know, and I can keep it the fuck moving. There will be no protesting to eat at your establishment. I don't care. You really think I'm going to use my time and energy to fight to get into these places they don't want us? For what? Because imagine me walking into your restaurant ordering some chicken and waffles or a fried chicken sandwich or something like that, and you don't feel the need to cook it properly because I'm a nigga. You end up giving me salmonella and poison in my ass or something like that. You guys know that sound from that show Snowfall when he's like, click, click, click. Nigga, you think I'm dumb enough to give your ass a loaded gun after the shit you just pulled? I don't want them to have to hide in their closets or under their hoods or under their sheets or under their mask or wherever the fuck it is that they want to hide. Be free with the racism, please. I'm begging you. Because at least then I will know where we stand. We've been over this with them a million times before. I'm not giving your ass a loaded fucking gun.
Hello, hi. Welcome to Great White.
Hello, we're looking for a table for 3.
You know what? I noticed something about you. I can't really tell, but like, what's your ethnicity?
Hispanic.
I knew it. I could tell because it was like a shade of like shadiness, like a shade of brown, but it's not quite like black. but it's like brown. So I noticed it. But yeah, come follow me. Get you a seat right now. Come. Okay, well, this is where you guys are gonna sit, and just let me know if you guys need anything. Okay.
This is the bathroom.
I don't give a fuck. I really don't care. Y'all not supposed to be here any fucking way. Have a seat. The bathroom. We don't want them there. Our real customers. Great whites. Welcome. You guys can sit anywhere you want. Just don't do like the back and the borders and near the bathroom. That's for like specific, Exactly. Welcome. Have fun. Enjoy. Oh my God. Are they coming here? They're black. I haven't really dealt with this issue yet. Hi. Welcome to Great White.
Yes, table for two.
Actually, we're at capacity. So like, you can't come in because we're at capacity. No other reason, but you just can't come in here.
There are some tables right there though.
That's a VIP table. Do you have $6,000 for that table?
No.
It's like a famous table. And are you famous?
No.
I didn't think so. Bye-bye now. Hi, hey, welcome to Great White.
Hi, do you guys have a table for 6 available?
Give me 1 second. You can sit over there while I talk to my colleague. Okay, so is the Asian section full? It's not? Okay, what is it looking like? Like how many Asians? We don't want more minority over the Great Whites. Okay, all right. You can follow my colleague back to your section with your people. To enjoy the food. Bye-bye now. Dude,
Hey, Great White, as an Asian American, here's what I think you should do. 1. Keep staying silent. You should definitely not issue an apology to the Asian American community for all the segregation that you've caused. 2. If you're looking to rebrand, I say we give it a new name. Instead of Great White, we go with Great Wall. 3. Contract a bunch of immigrants to literally build a Great Wall inside of the restaurant. I'm talking like big. I'm talking like big Great Wall right through the center of the restaurant. And that way you can subvert the idea of segregation and make it like a thing. 4. Now when an Asian customer comes in, you can be like, hey, Kevin Ling Ling. And you can be like, you can go to the left side or you can go to the right side. And they'll be like, wait, isn't that segregation? You can be like, no, it's empowerment. 5. You should definitely add like Asian-y authentic foods like say pan-fried rice or other gluten-free options like, I don't know, like kale Caesar salad sushi. Say hello to LA's hottest new restaurant, Great Wall.
Cassidy Cho and her boyfriend dined at Great White Melrose on Saturday, September 27th, when she says she noticed the restaurant was seating all of the patrons who appeared to be Asian in one section of the restaurant.
They were very direct about telling me to make sure I limit the amount of ethnic people that are coming in.
Go check out that video if you haven't had the chance. They're basically talking about people being discriminated against in restaurants. It reminds me of the time I got into an argument with someone that I knew because they didn't believe that racism, especially in restaurants, existed. I tried to explain to them that especially people of color are treated poorly when they go to restaurants based on ridiculous stereotypes. They'll do things like sit them away from other people or give them poor service because they think that they're not going to tip well. There's even been instances of hostess or servers going in the back and saying things like, we have a table of Eskimos or we have a table of Canadians coming in, which essentially means that there's a table of black people coming in. They would anticipate certain behaviors associated with people of color, which had no merit and were basically stereotypes that they were pushing onto these people. And sometimes you go into restaurants and you don't know how people are going to treat you because of your skin color or your religion or anything like that. And you essentially gaslight yourself into thinking maybe they're just having a bad day, maybe they're really busy, maybe this is just the kind of person that they are. The reality of it is there's so much racial bias in America that people get treated a specific way just because they're a certain color or just because of their certain religion, with doing nothing to receive that kind of behavior or discrimination. So yeah, the next time you go into a restaurant and you think they're treating those people weird, it's likely due to racism. But that's everything else in America. So what are we?
Guys, I'm about to be interviewed for NBC4 regarding the Great White. I honestly wasn't expecting it to blow up. And I don't know what I'm gonna say.
Hi there, Cassidy.
Hi.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Recording in progress. So just for the record, this will be recorded for broadcast. Go ahead, say your name and spell it for me.
Yeah, my name is Cassidy Cho, Cassid.
Tell me when you visited Great White in Melrose and describe your experience to me.
Our favorite brunch spot. So we went there and then we're like, okay, let's go get Great Whites. Never expected it to happen just because they also have locations across multiple areas in LA. So now that I think about it, we were always on like the edges. We were never like in the middle. I don't think it really clocked in for me until I was reading the comments that it's like an actual racism. And Great White like was one of my top like favorite restaurants, but I think after experiencing that, I don't think I would go back, just because if those are the type of behaviors that they're pushing forward, I don't think it's type of people that I also want to support. So I don't think I'll be going back. Yeah, no worries. Yeah,
I appreciate it. You take care, okay?
Thank you so much.
Great White here on Melrose receiving a lot of backlash after an Asian.
Guys, I'm at Great White, and I don't know if it's just me, but they put all Asians in.
The comments were like, no, like that happened to us, and I think there were so many people coming to light and saying that's a shared experience that we've had.
Numerous reviews online for Great.
I just want to say, like, to everybody who commented, supported, shared, amplified, like, thank you so much, because without you guys, this wouldn't have happened.
Apparently, Great White on Melrose is racist towards Asians, and I am Asian. So we're gonna test out this theory and see if they put us in the corner. I'm gonna bring her with me, so they have to sit us outside. Okay, so after doing a little bit of recon at Great White, we were greeted by a host and he was black. And then when we were sat, our server was actually an Asian woman. So that was my experience. They did not seat us in the corner. I don't know if it's because my husband looks like he's white. He's half Asian, but he doesn't look half Asian. I used my maiden name when I made the reservation. But yeah, that was my experience. Maybe they've made changes. I don't know. I also have never been seated inside of Great White, but like, this is my third time there. Food was okay. It's no Bestie, it's no Safi's, and it's no Bavel, so. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little disappointed. I wanted a little bit more spicy drama, but I don't have anything to give you guys, so I'm really sorry. I wish I had more bad news for you guys, but.
I wanted to give my 2 cents about the whole Great White thing, okay? That the Great White restaurant where they were segregating Asian people into like their own area. Now I don't really. If the restaurant is racist, okay, whatever backlash they get is what they get. I'm not trying to defend the restaurant. You know, I can care less. It's not like I go to it. But there's like you get a lot of these views that I find. It means what, in my opinion, okay? Because here's the thing where so a big Asian creator is you know, very. He's spearheading it, right? Just showing that it's racist and all that stuff, okay? And like I said, I mean, a restaurant, a place of business is purposely being racist. That's shitty. My thing is that at the end of the day, we as people don't really help the cause. So because a little while ago, I saw another creator, an Asian creator, saying that if he goes to a restaurant and he sees only white people there, he will leave. And then in his comment section, just a whole bunch of people, right, saying the same thing. Black people, Hispanic, whatever. If they see, you know, a place with just 4 white people, they will leave. So even as minorities, you will segregate yourself anyway. I find it a little bit funny that, let's say, again, I don't agree with it, you know, the redlining shit, I don't agree with it, okay, and how you know, back in history, they segregated people. But if you leave people to their own devices, okay, people will segregate themselves anyway. Now, like I said, by force, that's not cool. But naturally, people will do it anyway. So it's like counterintuitive. Oh, you hate if someone do it by force, but you still get the same results. People would do it anyway. You know, the Chinatowns, black people really clump up together. They're not like, oh, let me move to an all white neighborhood or whatever, or let me move to an all Asian neighborhood. They don't. People will naturally segregate themselves. So I'm more saying that at the end of the day, I mean, like I said, the restaurants being racist, I don't give a shit. I mean, that's their own thing. Whatever consequences they receive, those are the consequences they receive. I'm not crying about, you know, them being racist or that they're receiving consequences. What I'm saying that as human beings, we do not help any cause. We don't really help the cause. Because again, you cry about this restaurant being racist, segregating, let's say, Asian people. But at the end of the day, Asian people will naturally do it themselves. Like I said, I'm not taking away that forcing them is different than naturally, but I kind of view it like the same results, right? It's the same results, in my opinion. So I just feel like it's stupid in nature. I feel like stupid in nature. So I'm just thinking about like people, my more thing is like, my thing is like a lot of us make things a bigger deal than it is, okay? Because again, the original video was a woman, Asian woman, making note, or what I say, complaining that she was put into an area where it was full of Asian people, while she could see, white people was in that area and stuff like that. It's like, okay, I mean, I get it, but so what? I feel like sometimes like we gotta take a grip. So what? I see people, so many people complain, because this is the thing where, this is what I'm talking about. We don't promote unity. We don't. In this country, we promote actually segregation. We do. Okay? I mean, like, there are plenty of black people that hate white people. Plenty of white people that hate black people. There's plenty of, all groups hate each other. It's a sad thing. But again, Democratic Party pushes that. All parties push that. I mean, we push to not unify, but to segregate each other. So really, at the end of the day, you're not helping no cause. Okay? Because again, I've seen it for a couple of years now, why people push down, the image of being a white person. Right? They make it a negative. So I find it funny that now you care that you are put with other white people. I don't know. I think it's stupid. So I think shit like that is just very, I'm not saying that it's right or wrong. I'm saying that it's...
Hello brothers and sisters, welcome back to the channel. I'm hoping that you're doing great from wherever you're watching me from. Now, the model minority myth served a strategic purpose for white supremacy. Remember, it wasn't to elevate Asians. It was meant to divide people of color. Now, by highlighting Asian success, white America could deflect responsibility for systemic racism, suggesting that if Asians could make it, then black Americans had no excuse for their struggle. Many Asian communities seeking safety and validation internalize this narrative, distancing themselves from black Americans in hopes of being viewed as different from other minorities. Remember, they invested in respectability politics. They avoided challenging racial injustice and sometimes even joined in anti-black sentiments to align with white acceptance. But over time, reality has exposed this as a dangerous illusion. Whiteness can use but never truly includes. Whiteness can use but can never truly includes. That's a powerful line that I hope all these, I'm not saying that all Asian people are white validation or are seeking validation from white people, but all this group of Asians who are seeking validation to white people, they should learn and understand this. They should learn that you can never be white enough, in as much as whatever you try, how many times you try to please a white person, you can never be white enough. When times reaches or when it's convenient to them, they'll skip you like you ain't shit to them, right? Also, the cracks in this illusion became visible during crisis, moments when the line between acceptable and foreign repeated sharply. The COVID-19 pandemic is a powerful example, and this is what I'm going to say. Asians who once believed their education and economic success protected them suddenly found themselves targets. They found themselves targets of hate crimes, racial slurs, and suspicion. Their closeness to whiteness vanished overnight. This revealed a painful truth in the eyes of white America. Asians are perpetual foreigners, conditionally accepted only when they serve the system's interest. They can be scientists, they can be doctors, or business owners, but they will never be white enough. To escape racial authoring, the same structure that used to discipline black America ultimately reminded them that whiteness is not an identity one earns. It is a club designed to exclude. This is a club which is designed to exclude. I don't know how white Asian you might look, but if you ain't white, if you ain't belong to the member of the club, you are not going to be included. And that's how it works. I mean, it's sad, but it's true. That's how it works. Majority of the time, this is how it has always been working. And you need to understand this concept that this is how it works. So the moment you try to think that whatever you do politically, whatever you do socially, you'll still belong to this group of people. You can never belong to this group of people. That's why it was not so much surprising seeing that Asian being discriminated and being left there, and it's like it doesn't exist. Also, the ongoing rejection has forced many Asians to confront the emptiness of assimilation. Because, you know, assimilation has an emptiness because you cannot fit in. The desire to belong to white society often came at the cost of solidarity with other oppressed groups, particularly Black Americans, who have long fought the racial battles that benefit everyone. Asians learned English, adopted Western values, and distanced themselves from their own heritage in pursuit of acceptance, yet they remain racialized, exoticized, and excluded. Even their supposed success is weaponized against them, used as proof that racism is over rather than recognition of their humanity. When whiteness defines your worth, you can never be fully seen as equal. You are simply a convenient symbol. Today, you understand, as time goes by, today, there is a growing number of Asian Americans who are awakening to this realization. Many are beginning to reject the myth of proximity to whiteness and re-examining their place within America's racial hierarchy. They are recognizing that anti-blackness is not only morally wrong, but also self-destructive, because the same white supremacist structures that harm Black people also confine them. The more they try to be accepted as honorary whites, the more they lose their cultural identity and dignity. Right? Only to discover that whiteness was never meant to be shared. This awakening is sparking new cross-racial movements of solidarity, while young Asians are standing with Black communities in the fight against police brutality, inequality, and systemic racism. Ultimately, what Asians need to understand from all these stories is that the story of Asians seeking white acceptance is a tragic lesson in the futility of assimilation under white supremacy. It shows that whiteness is not cultural standard to be achieved, but a political construct built to exclude. Now, the Asian experience reveals that racial hierarchy is a pyramid with no room at the top, only an illusion of belonging that dissolves when tested. You understand that true liberation will not come from trying to be white enough, but from rejecting the entire system that measures worth by proximity to whiteness. When Asians and Black Americans recognize their shared struggle, they can dismantle the system that divide them in the first place. And in this, unity lies possibility of real power and freedom. I'm your host and presenter, Agent Stories. Please let me know what you feel and think about this video. But until then, let me see you in my next video. Peace, love, and harmony.